Do you have an electrical panel where all the breaker spots are filled up? And right now you need to get more power somewhere or add breakers into it, but you can't? Well, then you found the right video, because today we're going to be installing this 100 amp sub panel. So let's get started. So when it comes to a project like this, if you call an electrical contractor who's reputable and does good work, at minimum something like this is going to be $1,000. Where if you do it yourself, you could probably do it for $200 to $300 if you have all the tools already. So real quick before we get to work, let me show you the basic items you're going to need for this. First and foremost, you're going to need some type of sub panel. I'm using the Square D QO series sub panel. The reason I'm using this panel is because my existing panel is a Square D QO panel, so I want them to be exactly the same if I need to change any breakers out. Next, you're going to need a Square D grounding bar. Then you're going to need appropriate connectors to tie into the panel and the sub panel. Then you'll need an appropriate size breaker to go in the main panel to shut off the sub panel if needed. And you'll need the appropriate size wire. And lastly, don't forget you're going to need a piece of wood and fir strips behind the wood so that you can mount the sub panel appropriately to the wood and have some connection points to staple down new wire going into the sub panel. Now when it comes to mounting a sub panel, really there's no limitation on where you need to mount your sub panel. For example, my main panel is right here, but if I wanted to run it 30 feet to the other side of my house and put the main panel over there, I could. One of the biggest things you just need to remember is the max height requirement that the NEC has in America, which is that your highest shutoff cannot be any higher than 6 foot 7 inches. So for me, that's roughly right here. The last thing I want to touch upon before we get to work is that while I do have a 100 amp sub panel, I'm only going to be installing a 60 amp breaker with the appropriate size wire, which for those of you wondering, this is 6-3 wire, which means the wire is 6 gauge and has 2 hots, a neutral, and a ground. Now in the box of the sub panel, you'll find the sub panel and some instructions and a few miscellaneous items. If you open the front cover of the sub panel, it's going to say there's 8 spaces. No, there's not. There's only 6, which are in the center, and the 2 tabs on the outside, 1 and 8, are just blank. And make sure you don't think they're extra spaces. Taking the lid off and looking inside, it's pretty bare bones in here and there's not much to it. You have your neutral bar up top here, which this lug right here is where your neutral wire will hook to. You have your 2 hot bars right here and here. And then the grounding bar, which I talked about before, will screw into one of the sides on the bottom here. And this is where your ground wire will hook to and all your grounds will hook to. And one thing I really want to stress with this, probably the most important thing when installing a sub panel, is you want to make sure your neutrals and your grounds are totally disconnected and separate. And while I'm on that topic, this little bag will be included in the sub panel, which will have the 2 screws to put the cover on and mount it to the panel, and 1 long green screw, which you only want to use if that sub panel is actually going to be your main panel. But since we're not doing that, don't worry about the ground screw and make sure you don't put it in. Now that's a lot of information to take in, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. But now, let's finally get to work. So thankfully we're gonna have a really short run of wire to run from our main panel to this panel over here. Which what we're gonna need to do now is mount this piece of wood to this block here. And we're gonna use that by mounting fir strips and then screwing the wood into the fir strips. So I'm gonna go outside and cut 2 fir strips and I'll show you how to mount them. So I know that I wanna mount this piece of plywood right close to the edge right here so that the wire can run directly up and over and back down to that panel over there. I know some of you are gonna say this piece of wood's a little beat up, hence there's a cut up here and some of the paint's rubbed off. Well, this is a scrap piece I had laying around from when I did my actual panel, and it's technically fire rated wood and paint, which you can get at your local electrical supply store, which is what they recommend to use. So I know where this piece of wood needs to be. It can't go past this line over here, so I'm gonna put a fir strip right here and right here. All we need to do now is take our fir strip, put it up, and use a hammer drill and go right through the wood into the block. Then we're going to take our tap comms and drill it through the plywood and the block. And on a side note, all the material and tools I use will be listed in the description down below, so if you have any questions, just look down there. Just like that, the wood's nice and solid, not going anywhere. So now we're going to move to our sub panel and do a little panel prep. First thing we need to do is figure out where we're going to put this knockout for our main wire that comes into the panel. Which for me, I'm just going to knock out the hole right at the top here and put the connector in there. I also know I'm going to need to have 3 wires coming in this panel right now, so I'm going to pop 3 holes out on the top. They make these little plastic push connectors that pop in and that your wire can pass through. I highly recommend using these. So now your top should look something like this, or make how many ever holes you need to put wires through. So I just realized I messed up. I accidentally put everything on the bottom when I was supposed to put it on the top here, which they label in the panel and the smallest lettering at the top. Totally forgot about that, so make sure you're doing it on the right side. Thankfully, they make these knockouts you can put in for mess ups or if you pull an old wire out. So I'm gonna do that real quick. So they're all patched. Again, don't rush. Now that that's done, we need to install our grounding bar, which if you're looking at the panel, you have these little slots that pop up here, 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 there, and here. You can put in any one of those corners. I'm gonna put mine down here, but then again, it's wherever you wanna put it. Now that the grounding bar's in, it's time to mount it up. Now going back to the rule that we talked about before, that the highest breaker can't be taller than 6 foot 7 inches. So if we measure that real quick, 6 foot 7 inches is roughly right here, and the highest breaker will be about here. So we'll be good. Test the cover, make sure it fits real quick. Everything looking good. Now we need to open up our other panel and start working out of that. And one thing I want to say real quick is you're going to be working in a live electrical panel unless you shut off your main principal, but even still, these wires coming in from the street will be live right here. So in order to make this work, I need to make space for a 2-pole breaker. So that means I need to take 2 of these single poles out or 1 2-pole out. Basically, you just need to figure out what wire you can take out of this panel and run it to your sub panel. So in my case, there's 2 heat vent lights I have that the wire runs directly above this sub panel. So I'm going to pull those out of this panel and bring them down into here, and that'll make my room that I need for the 2-pole breaker in there to service this sub panel. We're going to save these breakers and put them in the sub panel. One quick note, I'm cutting the wires out of the panel because I actually need to make the wire that's coming into this panel shorter for this sub panel. But if you need to keep it the same length or make it longer, I don't recommend cutting the wires. Right now I'm going to move all 3 of these breakers down so I can keep my 2 poles all together up here. Now that these 3 are down, I need to add my 60 amp breaker into here, and I'm going to shoot it out the side and bring it up. Make sure the breaker's off and slap your 60 amp breaker or whatever breaker you choose in the panel. Make sure you leave it off for now until you hook the wires up and get everything else set up. So now that I got my 2 20 amp wires out for my heated vent lights, I need to start running the 6-3 wire to the sub panel. And the knockout I'm going to be using for this is in this corner right here, because I'll send my ground up to my grounding bar over here. I'll send my neutral up to the neutral bar over here. Then I'll send my 2 hots to the 60 amp breaker right here. Now that our connector's in, we could push our wire through. We're going to clamp this wire down now, and I'm going to make sure I have enough to get to the sub panel over here. And just so you know, regular staples will fit over 6-3 wire, but it's a little tight. All right, bring it through this hole for the sub panel. And before you forget, make sure you tighten down the clamp in this box. So now that our wire's through, it's time to hook it up. So first, strip out your outside coating to expose the 4 wires inside. Be really careful when you're cutting down too. Don't put too much pressure. So now you should have 4 wires showing. The first one, this bare copper wire right here, is the ground wire. The next one, this white wire, is the neutral. And then the next 2, the black and red, are your 2 hots, which it won't matter what 2 hots you hook into your 2 bus bars here, but I'll get to that in a sec. First wire I always like to do is hook the ground in. When doing this too, try to leave extra in case you ever need to service something or something gets cut. It's just smart practice. We're gonna hook this ground wire directly to the bottom of the ground bar. And just so you know, it doesn't matter what space on the ground bar you hook that ground wire, just as long as it's connected to it. And the torque spec for these lugs are roughly 25 foot-pounds, but always look at the manufacturer spec. So now that this ground wire is in and tucked away, I'm gonna do the neutral next. Same with this neutral, try to put a little service loop in there, and we're gonna go to this top lug up here where this neutral bar is. Now they do make big wire strippers for 6-gauge wire, but I'm just gonna use my knife. Now take the neutral and slide it into that bus bar, and then tighten it down. Now I'm gonna take my first wire, which is my red, and I'm gonna run it to this lug to the left over here. As I said before, I like to put service loops in things, but it's not necessary. Slide it in the hole. Now lastly, let's take this black wire and hook it to that lug. Stick the last wire in the hole, tighten it down. Now that everything's in here and hooked up, I'm gonna run my two 20 amp lines for my heated vent lights in here, and I got one other thing I gotta put in here. I got the two 20 amp wires through, now I just quickly need to hook them into the panel. Now that we got our grounds and our neutrals hooked in to the panel, we're gonna put our two 20 amp breakers in and tie in the hots. Now that I got those two 20 amp breakers in, I got one more double pole breaker to put in. And that breaker is for my well pump, which I don't really use, but I'd like to be able to use if I need to. And that's kind of the purpose why I'm putting this sub panel in, because I installed the surge protector a little while back, which took up the space of the breaker for the well pump. So let's slap that one in. So for most well pumps, I think if all well pumps, they require a 20 amp 240 volt breaker. And they're straight 240, so they don't need a neutral. So that's why there's 10-2 wire ran here. So now everything's basically done in the sub panel except for one thing. We need to pop these slots out. Also, I'm gonna slide all these breakers over to here. Now you can take your cover and put it on. Take the two screws that are provided and screw the cover on. And just like that, your panel's almost ready. Last thing we need to do is hook our wire we ran to this panel to the breaker, the neutral bar, and the ground bar. For those of you that can't see, my grounding bar is buried behind all these wires, so it's always a pain. Ground's tied in, let's do the neutral. Take the white wire and hook it to your neutral bar up at the top. Now just the two hots. And just like that, it's hooked up. So now, let's kick the breaker on. Breaker's on, so let's start turning on our other breakers in that panel and make sure everything works. I'm gonna go test stuff out, I'll be back. Just got done testing everything out, everything's working great. These are both to my heated vent lights, and then this one is to my well pump, which like I said before, I'm gonna leave off. Then I have two more spaces here for anything I wanna add in the future. So now let's put the cover back on the main panel. Now the last thing we need to do is relabel both our panels and clean up. And just like that, you have a sub panel installed. Now that it's all done, some of you are gonna be wondering how long this took me. Well, it took me about 6 hours with filming, so we'll probably say about 5 hours if you just did it yourself, which to save yourself $700 to $800, it's definitely worth it. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comment section below and I'll make sure to answer them. And don't forget to check out all my other videos on electrical work or other DIY projects. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day.